Hello, my name is Chris, and today I will get right into it and review this 2018 Tesla Model 3. This is the four-wheel drive model. It is also the long-range model with 499 kilometers of range and a 0 to 60 of 4.8 seconds, though that figure felt very conservative. The only option I could find on the Tesla website for Canada was the enhanced Autopilot. This car is equipped with it. More on that later. Building this vehicle on the website, I came out to $78,000 Canadian before taxes and the Quebec rebate. The exterior styling is an unquestionable success. It certainly looks expensive, unlike most electric vehicles. Take a look for yourself. The inside is the most interesting part of the vehicle for me. The 15-inch touchscreen dominates the driver interface, and there are no other interfaces apart from two dials on the steering wheel. Underreported by other reviewers is the level of innovation in this car and the enhanced Autopilot, which I think is the future. The enhanced Autopilot is able to change lanes, come to full stops, take exits and on-ramps without any driver input. 12 sensors are constantly watching out for you and displays the cars around you in the 15-inch screen. Model 3 reminds you that Tesla is a technology company with beautiful graphics on its updated navigation. There are other reminders the Model 3 is the future. For example, the ventilation system is unlike any I've ever seen before and is supremely effective in this Canadian winter. Model 3 also uses the dials on the steering wheel to control all aspects of adjustment, including the exterior mirrors and steering wheel height and depth. The panoramic roof allows a lot of natural light, making the driving experience that much better, but also critically allows for more headroom for rear passengers. Brilliant. The steering wheel is made of a nice soft touch leather, and it is a perfect grip width. The seats are also leather and are extremely comfortable and easy to adjust and complement this quiet interior very well indeed. Interesting to note that there are more than two preset settings for the seat. There is even a guest seat. For those of you who are curious and living above the snow line, anything below 0 degrees affects the range by about 25%, and anything between -15 and -25 degrees could affect range between 40 and 50%. These percentages are consistent among EV owners. I know two Bolt owners who reported the same thing. Of note, the stability and traction control make snow and ice disappear very high level in this Model 3. As you can imagine, the owner loves his car, and here's what he loves about it. He loves the styling, he loves the technology, he loves the well-calibrated suspension, he loves the electric range, he loves the electric torque, he loves the iPad interface, he loves the simplicity of the propulsion system, he loves not having to use gas anymore, and with wireless updates, for example, the enhanced Autopilot has improved. These free updates and its classical styling, the owner says, makes his car future-proof. Pretty good arguments. I can say for myself, as someone who is not very green, I came to this test drive expecting a modern electric propulsion system. I finished this test drive being blown away by the technology and the holistic approach Tesla took in creating this vehicle. It is more than a science project, rather the work of brilliant people thinking about what the future will be. This Tesla is certainly more special, more charming, and more expensive than any other electric vehicle I have ever driven. Here are my thoughts on the road. Hello car lovers! Driving the 2018 Tesla Model 3, kind of exclusive for a Quebec channel, kind of exclusive. I'm going to talk about a few things about this car. First of all, as you know on my channel, I'm not really a green person, so I was coming here to drive basically an electric car. Those were my expectations. However, I'm leaving this vehicle completely in awe by the technology. Okay, but I'm going to be methodical about this review. I'm going to start with the outside. I like the exterior styling, really sporty, really nice. The classic lines, the owner says these are lines which will grow old very well, and I think they will. They've been making cars like this for years now, and they look good and they stay good looking. What about the inside? Well, on the inside, a few interesting things. First of all, lots of room here. I love the panoramic roof and lots of seat space in back. You're sitting well. I like what they did with the panoramic roof. It kind of gives you room for your head. I like that. These front seats are freaking comfortable. Ross informs me that it used to be a complaint about Teslas, older Teslas, and they've remedied that. I have to say these seats are amazing. The steering wheel is made out of a nice leather. But the attraction is certainly the main screen. This giant screen here has the most beautiful navigation I've ever seen in my life. And also this technology, on the left-hand side, you have your Tesla car, and the radar is kind of detecting all the cars around you. You kind of get mesmerized by these little icons. It will give you a truck icon when it's a truck, a car when it's a car, and also a motorbike when it's a motorbike, and somebody who's walking, a pedestrian who's walking when you're at a near stop. So kind of amazing this technology. Little technological things, more on that. I like the ventilation. The ventilation you adjust with your screen, whether you want it on you, whether you want it diffused, up or down. It's really awesome. This whole thing works well together. And it contributes to what I think is a very attractive minimalist style. Even when you want to adjust your rear view mirrors, it's done by the screen. So really a nice user interface. I'm not always keen on that because it distracts you off the road when you're fumbling through the menus. Somebody who's technologically savvy or who enjoys technology, I think they'll enjoy that a lot. I know, I'm surprised by myself, I'm enjoying it. The Autopilot. Interesting thing, when the owner bought this car, the Autopilot would not take exits, but everything is updated wireless in this car. So now with the latest update, the car now takes exits while in Autopilot. The Autopilot is the most sophisticated system I've ever driven. When you're driving, let's say on a lane, it drives super straight. It's not hunting between the two lines. It slows down not jarringly when you have traffic in front. It accelerates smoothly. It changes lane. It will exit. It's the most, and you can drive for literally like almost a minute without touching anything. Also, when you're driving in traffic, it does everything by itself. It really reduces the stress of driving. So you notice I haven't talked about the battery yet, and I haven't talked about the power. Well, I can talk about those things. Well, the battery, this one has a charge of about 500 kilometers, I think, almost. The acceleration is nuts. It's fucking nuts. Let's say it. You get this electric push in your seat, and the soft seat almost contributes to the feeling of acceleration because you kind of like squish in the seat when you accelerate. I won't do it now because I'm in the city driving, but it is amazing. And also when you're driving on icy weather, the electronics really keeps you in your lane. So like the owner of the vehicle, like you're kind of like shy when you're first driving the car, and he says, no, Chris, don't worry about it, just step on it. And we were driving around stepping on it on icy roads, boom, 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 boom. Tesla takes care of everything. Tesla takes care of you in this car. And that's this feeling I have when I'm leaving this car. And it's interesting to note that when this car was designed with an idea of its place in the future, right? They're not thinking only about the steering feel or the range, or they're thinking all these things work together about how the car of the future will work in the society of the future. And that is inherently awesome. And you feel it when you're driving it. The owner makes the remark, the car is expensive. However, the maintenance costs are inexistent. And as far as brakes are concerned, you're hardly ever going to use them. In fact, you're going to use them so that they don't become rusted, really. So that's kind of nice. So once you're bought it, it's the electric costs, the tires, and that's it. I can't think of anything else to say about this vehicle. These are my initial impressions. I think it's pretty awesome. I think if you're somebody who wants to be technologically advanced, the latest thing, I think this is the vehicle for you. It's wonderful. I think the performance too is addictive. You're going to love that acceleration. And once again, I keep saying it every time I drive an electric vehicle or an electric plug-in, you feel inherently that you are driving the future. And that is extremely satisfying. I've been driving this car now for almost an hour now, and I'm not getting tired of it. I enjoy driving it. So if that's what you're looking for, this car comes highly recommendable, I think, of course. And that's the review. By the way, if you liked this exclusive and well thought out review, you can like the review. If you really like it, you can subscribe. Duh. And that is it.